Here come the Warriors. And if we look at them comically, they had a great second half to last year, and they did so with the beards. We're looking for facial hair again, or is it too early in the season?
Too early in the season, because it fails. You need another
Yeah.
plan to fall back on. But look, the Warriors are a very good football team.
Yep.
I'm really excited about watching them play play tonight, given the fact that I thought they were great in the second half last week.
Here come the Melbourne Storm, very calculated behind their leader, Cameron Smith, and they will welcome Brett Finch, they will welcome Brett White in front of a huge crowd. As Simon said earlier, a massive crowd. The weather's not in our favour down here tonight, nor is the fact that that other code with the round field, they've sold out the MCG over the road in a cracking game over there. So in a city dominated by AFL, a huge support for the Storm and for Rugby League today.
It's great to see. You know, it is pouring with rain. All the reserve seating has been sold, and I think the players will appreciate that the people have come out and supported them, and I expect a really first-class game of football.
3 games down into round number 7 of the 2009 NRL Telstra Premiership. We hope you're enjoying Super Saturday. We're covering all points of the compass today. We started in Sydney, now in Melbourne. Next up, we're going to be headed to Townsville. At the moment, let's head on to the field for the official ceremony.
The NRL Melbourne Storm and New Zealand Warriors invite you to join them in honouring the memory of Australian and New Zealand servicemen and women who gave their lives for their nations. Our thoughts too are with those currently on active service. We welcome the Manager of Veteran Affairs and Entitlement Support for the RSL Victoria, Vietnam veteran and peacekeeper, Mr. Jeff Jackson. Please remain standing.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please remain standing first for the National Anthem of New Zealand to be performed by Rory Carr, followed by the National Anthem of Australia to be performed by Julia Messenger.
at Olympic Park. The cameras and the vision not really showing you accurately just how heavy the rain is. And speaking of heavy, it's been mentioned about Greg Inglis over 2009. Laurie, is he too big for your liking?
He's a superstar, but he's slowly starting to get back to his best. He's got a strong upper body. He's a very powerful runner of the football, who sometimes waits until the game is over before he starts to get involved.
Yep.
I'd like to see, when that happens, him go looking to get involved. He's such a great athlete and such a great player.
As one of the great sixers, would you rather see him at six or in the centres?
Oh, definitely out wide.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely out wide.
Our two referees for this one, Matt Chakin in his 35th game and Tony Archer regarded as the number one. Melbourne won the coin toss. The Warriors kicking off and defending the Yarra end of Olympic Park. The rain is coming in from the left, and as a result, it is going to be the breeze behind the Storm for the opening 40 minutes. Brett Finch and Brett White making their first outing for the Storm in 2009 as the ball comes loose for Ruwangi Korpu into the hands of Ian Henderson. Advantage Warriors. White starting from the bench for the Storm. Ruwangi against his former club and getting involved in the tackle on former skipper in Stephen Price. Taking the first, Henderson finds Jones. Searching a little wire to link with Jesse Royal. And Royal, wearing jersey number 16, preferred as a starting minute forward to Sam Rapira this week. Michael Lucas tackled centre field. And the Storm are a little short on the far side of the field. That's where Jones is, but Henderson comes this side to Moon. Strong, tight work there from Jacob Lilliman, the former Cowboy. Moon at first receiver, then to Jones. Up very quickly was Cameron Smith. Now to Ian Henderson. And this Melbourne defensive line getting up in the face of the Warriors early. They go to the far side. Jones redirects. Comes back, looking for Manu Vatuvei. The Warriors have it. 6 again, looking for points. 0. Denied. It is Stephen Price with the football. And a bit to say to Cameron Smith. O'Hire at first receiver, now to Jones. He was wide, looking for the run around there with Ben Madalino. Madalino couldn't get his arms free. It was Finch and it was Inglis involved in the tackle. Now to Jones. Short ball to Simon Mannering. Mannering back out in the centres, equally as comfortable in the back row. Royal intercepting at first receiver. Just taking an old-fashioned settler. Centre field, looking at the Melbourne line. They can smell points. Wide to Joel Moon. Loses his footing. The rain has not let up at Olympic Park. O'Hire bumps off one in Cronk, heads across field. Had Jesse Royal in support, took the defensive line himself. And a penalty. A penalty to the Warriors.
It's been outstanding defence so far from the Melbourne Storm, and they may have to hang on for one more set, although the message has come from the bench to take the shot at goal.
Big call.
It's a big call early in the contest, but the Warriors feel points may be of the premium tonight, but Lance O'Hire getting involved, dancing around. Great upper body strength. And then you can see Smith and Dallas Johnson just trying to keep him down on the carpet.
Two guys that combined for about 93 tackles a game for the Storm. That one, not one of their best.
It was great work. While their defence hasn't been a problem this season, their attack has, but they've defended that great.
I'll take it.
Denon Kemp opens the scoring in just the 3rd minute. The Warriors 2 lead the Storm 0. Are you surprised by the decision to take the points?
Well, I'm surprised by it, given that it was early in the game. And in these type of conditions, you don't know how often you'll get inside the 10-metre zone to attack with conditions like this. And as the game goes on, and the more fatigued you become, usually the errors start to roll into your system and roll into your game.
Smith, low trajectory kick, and that could have gone out on the full. Stephen Price either watching the footy too intently or unaware how close he was to the dead ball line. But that Cameron Smith kick would have been out by the best part of 2 or 3 metres. Melbourne Storm condensing or shortening up their defensive line here. They want to keep the Warriors in the back of their own field. Good metres here. Hoffman involved in the tackle, unable to bring Madalino down cleanly. Henderson scoots the short side. Looks back open. Had a couple of runners there and ran into Dallas Johnson.
Last one to me.
Johnson held on for the ride and was joined by Brett Finch as they go to Stacey Jones and wider to Joel Moon. It came off the outside edge of that left boot.
You go back. I got it, mate.
An awful kick.
Well, they've had all the ball, the Warriors.
I'll have a look,
And
Cameron.
now it's the Melbourne Storm's
There you go.
first opportunity with it.
With him, Dallas.
5 minutes in, the Warriors have only made 5 tackles. Make it 6 here.
Michael.
Great field position for the Storm to hit back. This is Adam Blair. And one would figure it is Adam Blair that is under pressure to maintain his starting spot with the return of Brett White. Slater to Turner. It was a very good ball to the wing three-quarter. Back to Cooper Cronk. He travels across field again to link up with Adam Blair, who's got a great offload in him. An improved offload and passing game from Blair this year. Now to Cronk. Wider again to Slater, to Turner. Dangerously close to the sideline. Too close to the sideline. And you think if anyone in the competition would be really aware of not playing with width, due to the conditions, it'd be the Storm.
Well, they read that well, the New Zealand Warriors. They just slid. They used the sideline as a defender. And Big Manu, he came rattling in there at one stage, trying to put a hit on Billy Slater. And Steve Turner's not the biggest human being out on the field tonight, but he's coming up against a monster in Vartuve.
Steve Turner would need a twin brother to weigh the same as Manu Vatuvei.
Hold one. Ryan Hoffman. Hold. Hold.
There is the beast. This young man, Madalino, been very effective on this right side, in tandem with Simon Mannering for Ivan Cleary, and these are great metres from Jesse Royal. Very effective. Henderson to Price on the back of a very quick play the ball. Edging up towards halfway. Luck across field. Back on the inside to Lilliman. Both boys spent time in Townsville. Now to Moon, and he puts it centre field. Slater forced to cover plenty of ground. Drops it behind him. Back it goes to Anthony Quinn.
Great set by the Warriors. They just rolled it out of their own red zone so well. Jesse Royal, Steve Price. Rolling over the top, Billy Slater. And characteristic error at the back of the field. And now Melbourne need to work it off their own goal line, 20 metres out.
Laurie, in conditions like this, attacking kicks. You had a very good kicking halfback inside you in your playing days, albeit an angry little one in Ricky Stewart. Do you like to keep it on the ground? Do you like to put it in the air and challenge?
It's variety. You need variety in these conditions. You make sure that the back three never feel comfortable.
O'Hire was deep in his own in goal and got it back out centre field, about 15 metres out from his line. That's Brett Finch in 20. Left the Parramatta club controversially 2 weeks ago. Now in Melbourne Storm colours. Here is Jerome Ropati. Just stealing a cheeky 6 metres. 2-0 in favour of the Warriors, electing to take a penalty kick right in front in just the 3rd minute. Downfield we go, just outside the 40 and straight to Slater. In fact, he did not have to move an inch.
No, you need to find space when you kick to the Melbourne Storm. But one thing they did well on that occasion, they presented a line to Billy Slater. They steadied themselves.
The Warriors coming off a thrilling extra big-time victory over the Roosters. In fact, they scored 17 unanswered points to defeat the Roosters at home last weekend. And a short turnaround for the Storm, a Monday to Saturday turnaround after being beaten at Leichhardt Oval 16 points to 6. Last tackle now for the home side. It goes to Cooper Cronk, and he goes to the air. Very well taken, Denon Kemp.
They put the ball up in the air. Greg Inglis was chasing through on the left side of the field. It'll be a tactic that's used heavily tonight, both along the ground and also up in the air, testing the back three out.
12 is Lillyman, playing central again tonight. This is Mannering, pushing his way over that 30-metre line. What the Warriors did in the second half against the Roosters, they didn't play with a great deal of width. They played posts to posts. That was when they were effective. It allowed this man, Stacey Jones, so much more opportunity with the footy. Here's Slater. Difficult for the fullbacks crabbing across field in conditions like this because that giant sidestep is very difficult on nights like this as a penalty goes to the Storm.
It's a big night for the back three, the wingers and the fullbacks from both teams. They'll be heavily involved. They'll be scooting out a dummy half, and it's important that they get their team on a roll on early in the tackle count.
Lock in there at marker, mate.
If they do that, it makes it so much easier for the forwards to continue that roll, getting out of their own red zone.
Cameron Smith to restart. He does so to Jeff Lima, who was the only 100-plus metre running forward in the side on Monday night. Now to Adam Blair. Strongly met down low by Stephen Price, and over the top it was front row partner Jesse Royal. Finch playing at first receiver, links to Inglis. Playing the ball on tackle number 3, 25 metres out from the try line. Blair has had a very busy start to the night. Hit up number 6 already. Finch at first receiver now to Cronk. Pumps it over the top, looking for Turner. What a try to the Melbourne Storm. Laurie, they didn't over-engineer it at all. That is exactly what they've done at training week in, week out for years, and it worked to perfection.
Well-rehearsed play there by the Melbourne Storm. And Cooper Cronk is playing predominantly on the right and Brett Finch on the left. But when it broke down, Finch got himself into first receiver. He passed the ball on to Cronk, and Cronk, he just drew Vartuve up. He placed it in behind for Steve Turner, who held his width, and the Storm respond. Excellent comeback from Melbourne. And that was great link work with the halves, Cronk and Brett Finch. It'll develop over time. But I said in the pre-game show, they can thank their lucky stars, Melbourne, that Brett Finch has come up at this time of the year. It will relieve the pressure on Cooper Cronk and Cameron Smith. You know, with no established 5'8", they've really relied a lot on Cronk, and it's probably taken on too much of the responsibility. And with a young 5'8", not overly tempted to take plays away from him,
Yep.
it's just allowed teams to double up on Cooper Cronk and Billy Slater. Slater all of a sudden is just finding himself in the back pocket of Cooper Cronk. And on Monday night in particular, there was times for the left edge to run the football because they had the numbers. But I just don't think young Maloney was confident enough to override the decisions from Cooper Cronk, where Brett Finch will do that.
Brett Finch doesn't have a confidence problem. We established that some years ago. Here is Cameron Smith on the preferred side for a left foot kicker. Nightmare conditions, though, for any kickers tonight. Oh, in the driving rain, what a kick from Cameron Smith as we go sideline to Simon.
Yeah, already the Melbourne Storm making their intentions quite clear early. Laurie mentioned earlier that Manu Vatuvei does have a tendency to come up and in, and that kick was placed beautifully for the winger there. And as you can see, a big man like Manu finds it hard to turn and chase, so he could expect a fair bit of traffic coming his way tonight.
Warriors so far this year have more offloads than anyone in the game, averaging 15 per game. as Lima does his best impression of a steamroller.
Oh, wow, get out of my road. Ian Henderson, here comes Blair.
And Henderson back into the defensive line and quickly, along with Michael Luck and also Simon Mannering. Back row linking there. Dallas Johnson to Ryan Hoffman on that left-hand side. Cameron Smith. Short ball to Lima. Warriors thought the intended recipient there was Blair. This time it goes to the number 10. And playing a narrow set, but a very effective set for 50 metres, the Melbourne Storm. Cronk again goes to the air. Slater charging through. A little late on the scene and a great tackle there and great timing by Brett Finch.
Great into the set from Melbourne. They put the ball in the air and really tested out Lance O'Hire. They had plenty of energy in that set. Can the Warriors respond? Here comes Vartuve.
Jerome Rapati coming over from the left-hand side to play a part. Ben Madalino taking it to the line. A four-man Storm tackle here again.
Move, mark square. Keep coming, Jeff.
Dominated time with the football have the Warriors so far as Jones pumps it downfield safely into the hands of the try scorer, Steve Turner. 15 minutes in, it is 6 points to 2 in favour of the Storm. Centre field, Smith goes to Finch at first receiver, then on to Ryan Hoffman. Now Brett Finch, Laurie, equally as comfortable playing at first receiver as he is a traditional second receiver with 5/8 role.
Yeah, he's just feeling his way at the moment, Brett Finch, but I like what he's doing so far. He's looking up, he's identifying some of the Warriors players and how their reactions are in the defensive line, and he's more importantly talking to his own players about what's required. Look for him to get further involved as the game goes on.
Cronk almost solely has had kicking duties tonight. Very well weighted kick and pressure on O'Hire. He got away from Turner, couldn't get away from the kicker in Cronk. And the number 7 showing quite a bit of caution here.
He's a courageous player, Lance O'Hire. Hasn't really found or established a position with the Warriors. Cooper Cronk coming in. There was some contact made with his knee. I think it was accidental. But O'Hire does a fantastic job to pull away from Steve Turner's tackle. And Cronk coming in over the top. He's down on the ground. He's a tough cookie, Lance O'Hire.
Lance! Wait!
Incredible recovery for Lance, who may have been assisting his teammates getting back on side as well.
Dallas!
Ian Henderson. Dummies before taking the ball to the line and being dropped just outside the 10-metre zone. Tough metres here for the Warriors, and the pressure has directly resulted in a forced error, a drop ball, and the opportunity for Melbourne to record their second for the night. Wide ball to Dallas Johnson at crossfield. He holds on to it despite the fact they did have numbers on that far side. Lima. Slow to his feet. Blair used as a decoy open side. Finch goes to Slater. Slater slides over.
Check what? Tackle 3, Tim. Check grounding.
I don't think there's an issue here, Laurie, from first look.
I think the momentum takes Billy Slater across the stripe, but it's Brett Finch heavily involved. They were setting up to go to Cooper Cronk, but Finch has called it back to the left side, put a beautifully worked second man play on. So I just think that's momentum. With these wet conditions and some speed behind you.
He could have
And
slid to Geelong.
look how far he lands across the line. He doesn't just get there.
He's almost pulled in by Stacey Jones.
Yeah, no, that's a 4-pointer, no doubt about it. I'd be very surprised if Tim Mander gave us a red light here. They look good, the Melbourne Storm.
Billy Slater awarded a try, and with that, a little piece of history for our man Billy the Kid. That is try number 50 here at Melbourne's Olympic Park. And more tries than anyone at the place they call the Graveyard.
Great player, Billy Slater. And when the Storm have won their last 21 matches at Olympic Park, Billy Slater has scored. That's a fantastic record.
It's a good rap, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And when you have a playmaker either side, the opposition have to line up man for man. They can't afford to double team a player. And that's what I think's been happening to Melbourne. Teams have been double teaming them, in particular with Cronk. And with Finch on the field, if you run good decoys, it's hard to defend. You put the pressure back on the defending team. They have to make the right read. And if they don't, you can expose them. And that was just a well-rehearsed play there by Melbourne.
You can hear the reaction in the background. The Warriors are very well supported tonight at Olympic Park. Not everyone is here to see a Storm victory. It's hit the post and away it is waved. 10 points to 2 as we approach the quarter-way point, an 8-point game, the Storm leading the Warriors. Best first 20 minutes of the year for last year's grand finalists.
Let's stay behind.
They need higher seats in that Melbourne coaching box. Looks like a collection of Dickie knees. You see the top of their head. When will Brett White be thrown into action? You wouldn't think it'd be too far away. Here is Adam Blair. Popped his head through the line, couldn't get the body through as well. Dallas Johnson back to Ryan Hoffman. The second or third time we've seen that combination.
Not there, the markers.
Tonight.
You're not marker. You're not marker.
Great run by Adam Blair.
Smart,
He
mate.
set the tone in that set. Established good go forward. Dallas Johnson and Ryan Hoffman, little play at the back of the ruck. Legs tackle, quick play the ball once
Back
again.
in, boys.
Penalty, and now here come Melbourne on the attack.
Smith. Nice little tap on play. Ended up going through 3 hands before the ball runner, Jeff Lima. This is busy Adam Blair, isn't he? 15 offloads so far. In 09, now it's Cameron Smith. Brett Finch moving into dummy half here. Left they go. To Inglis. To Hoffman. The tackles have got to be up around the chest. Anything low will allow momentum to get you over the line. Cronk pressured there. Coming out of the line, it was Stephen Price. Now to Cameron Smith across field. Slater. So too Turner. Vadavai. 1 foot in the goal area. Good awareness of where he was on the footy field.
Yeah, good work there by Manu. It's a risk kicking it to him. You know at times you may get an error out of him, but you also know the danger of when he catches it.
Yeah.
And if he catches it and he's got some momentum behind him, he's a powerful man. He's an excitement machine.
He's a beast. On Ian Henderson. A shocker here. A shocker for the young man who was born in England, raised in Australia. He represented Scotland with his 2 brothers in Rugby League World Cup 08. And for most of last year, looked like a Canadian lumberjack with that beard. And just mind half a second ahead of where his hands were. Ben Madalino off. Patrick Arvan into the action. Arvan's moved over onto that right-hand side, allowing Simon Mannering to move into the centre third of the footy field. Cameron Smith to Jeff Lima as Lima and Blair get through a mountain of work in preparation for Brett White and his introduction to the game. 10 points to 2 as the Storm look for number 3 for the night. Cronk Stephen Price has got a target on Cooper Cronk tonight. Here is Blair, brushes away from Jones, is secured over the top. In fact, it takes 4 Warriors and they can't get him onto the ground. Finch, good ball. Charging is Inglis.
There, Greg, leave the ball there.
And that was the final play.
Well, they ran it on last tackle. They rolled the dice. Greg Inglis, difficult man to contain. They had a good tackle on him, good shot on him there, the Warriors. It's a bad position, though, for them to be carrying the football now off their own line. Melbourne will look to really get up quick and put them under pressure.
Fine. Hit very hard. The contact was tough from Hoffman. Storm have really shortened their line. Steve Turner, the winger, was 23 metres in from touch. Their widest defender now is Will Chambers.
Go around if you're not there.
And a late set penalty to the Warriors.
Yeah, silly penalty. They had done all the hard work, Melbourne. You could see Hoffman there around the legs, just trying to get through and go over the top of Michael Luck. He should have just rolled to the side. That's a bad penalty.
Interchange number 3 for the Warriors already. Ian Henderson has been taken from the field. Nathan Feen has been thrown into action. That's him with the football now. On to Michael Luck, the lock forward running at a line. An outside line to the defence. Here is Price. Still no interchanges for Craig Bellamy. He likes what he sees so far. Great field position now for the visitors as Jones pops it over the top to Mannering, and into the hands of Will Chambers it goes. Melbourne survive.
Yeah, they're hard to catch long balls when they're above your head. At least if you've got your body and the ball's out in front, you've got your hands in your chest there to help you out. But here's the first interchange of the night from Melbourne. Kevin Proctor's on the field and Corker is off. And Lima and Blair, terrific starts for Melbourne. And I think they know the pressure's about to be applied to them from Brett White, making a comeback or return from injury.
Ball just skidded off the turf, and Dennis Kemp had plenty of work in front of him and did brilliantly to get it out to the 20-metre line. As we go sideline with Simon.
Yeah, look, in these conditions, you need to be disciplined, and that's something the Warriors haven't been able to do. They've been under the pump for the last 15 minutes, and all the points for the Melbourne Storm have come off the back of the Warriors' penalties and drop ball. They really needed to fix it up. They're looking very tight at the moment, and we're only 25 minutes into the game.
Stephen Price with hit up number 7 of the evening so far. He leads that statistical department for his side. Here is Rapira. Sam. Steve playing for the Cowboys, and Sam drops it in the play the ball.
No, he's not, mate. No, he's not.
An unforced error there by Sam Rapira. It was a terrific run.
He's got to play the ball when he can.
They're talking to the referee about it. No, there was no hands on his body. Sometimes after a good run, wet, slippery ball, sacrifice some speed, get it to the ground, and then roll it back.
In you go.
Aidan Tolman preparing to move into action for the Melbourne Storm. He'll be their second replacement as we get close to 27 minutes. Coming on for Adam Blair. Blair's number's good, 11 hit-ups, 17 tackles.
Outstanding. That's what you want.
Oh, perfect for a front rower.
You know you're going to be interchanged around that 20-minute mark, 22 minutes. He's gone a little bit longer tonight, but that's an excellent effort. And Inglis juggles the ball.
He did well there, didn't he, to keep control of the footy. Rain has stopped, but still the conditions a nightmare. As you can see, the ball very, very slippery.
Next job. Next job. Hey. Hang on, mate.
You can hear the Storm there saying next job, next job. We're going to worry about our next job, and our next job is defending for a set.
Yeah, and
Okay,
even,
it's going off, Matty.
even to take a little bit further with that, is that not so much worry about the next set, it's worry about the next play. So sometimes you just worry about that next tackle.
Warangi Cooper, who has had a break of all of about a minute 12. His replacement, Kevin Proctor, is being brought from the field. Now, because the scrum has been set.
He's a bit like me, Kevin Proctor. He doesn't like the windy days. The rug's no good in the wind.
Yes, I can see the similarities. Bumped out of the way there, but Proctor limping from the field. He has got some hair, hasn't he? Sideshow Bob Mark too, Kevin Proctor. I'd be the last person in the world making hair jokes. Most of mine's on the pillow of a morning. 10 points to 2 in favour of the Storm, who have conceded another penalty.
They keep calling you, mate. Wait there. There you go.
Stephen Price has also been given a breather by Ivan Cleary. Good numbers for Price, 6 hit-ups, 15 tackles.
Well, you come to expect that from Steve Price. Here come the Warriors, a good opportunity. This is the best opportunity they've had in 10 minutes.
This is big Russell Packer, part of the Toyota Cup team of the year last year and a player of the future. The ovation you can hear. Brett White has got an interchange card in hand and ready to head into action. That won't be until the end of this defensive set. 99% of interchanges are made when your side is attacking you. You can't leave yourself outnumbered defensively. Joel Moon. Rapati. Good ball to Vanavai. Has the Beast collected points?
Check the grounding in the corner post, mate.
Well, he's pretty confident.
Nice little short ball from Jerome Rapati.
Well, they looked as though they had it covered, but it's just Vartuve's strength. There he is, going over the top of Steve Turner. Slater coming across with the assistance of Brett Finch, and he gets it down. Great wingers try, and the Warriors are back in the game. He didn't have much room to work with there, Vartuve. He's such a dangerous player and such a strong man. And there's the green lights, and it's game on.
He scares me. Outright scares me, Big Manu. He is a monster with so much pace and so much size to go with it. Another try for the big bloke tonight. Number 3 for the year.
Well, not many wingers would have been able to score this try. They had the numbers there, Slater and Steve Turner, but it's just his strength and his size and his power was able to get rid of Turner. And you know, that has to be a worrying sign for Melbourne. They'd had all the field position, all the dominance, one opportunity down here, and the Warriors have come up with points.
Kemp from the sideline. Geez, hit it well. It's coming back, just not enough. So the scoreline remains 10 points to 6 after half an hour here at Melbourne's Olympic Park. Hope you're enjoying Super Saturday. Not over after this one because we are headed to Townsville. It is the Cowboys and the Sea Eagles immediately following full time here in Melbourne. Brett White onto the field. Jersey number 19 he is wearing for the Melbourne Storm.
Stay behind.
Come on for Jeff Lima, who's carrying just a slight limp. And again, the kickoff would have gone dead in goal with the Warriors unaware of where they were on the footy field.
Well, they need to be standing on the dead ball line.
He was. Heels on the line. Has he tagged the line as well?
I was going to say, when he caught the ball, he didn't have his heels on the line. But his next movement, he's touched the line.
Cleary bumps it back to Jones. Gets it onto Russell Packer. 3 Storm players there to bring him to the ground. Little dart from dummy half from Lance O'Hire. They do have a good array of smaller men that can scoot well from dummy half. O'Hire, Fiend, Henderson. Stacey Jones as well. Here's Steve Turner running back into Joel Moon. That was solid body contact there from Moon, also from Fiend.
Well, one of the most impressive things about the Warriors tonight is their kick-chase game. We always mention about things that you just are non-negotiable in the game and little things you have to get right, and your kick-chase is one of them. When you play Melbourne, you play anyone, and they're doing it well tonight. There goes Brett White, a strong surge.
He's a fair lump of a lad, isn't he, Brett White? Smith, Cronk. Good ball there to the 15 in Morangi Kupu. Playing against his old club tonight, and against plenty of his mates, as Cronk goes to the air. And far too much on it, that one from Cooper.
Yeah, I think he's still taking on a little bit too much, Cooper Cronk. It's a developing combination. It's the first time he and Brett Finch have played football with one another. But there's times when I believe that Finch should be receiving the football, and he's calling for it. But I think that combination of Smith and Cronk that's been working for so long, just find it a little bit difficult to break with another dominant personality there at the moment.
Good meters here from the Warriors. Again, it is Packer. Fiend to Luck. A short ball there, a hospital pass if you like. Into the hands of the Storm. And here goes Slater. Tag from behind, a great tackle. It was Stacey Jones. Out of Inglis. Very much limited again tonight so far, Greg Inglis. Defensive units working well in combination to keep him from doing any of it. It's a lack of communication there. It ended up with the big number 4 that we were just speaking of. 2 tries to 1 in favour of Melbourne. Slater, wide ball to Turner. Lost his footing trying to step inside Vadavai. Back to Brett Finch at first receiver. He pops it over the top looking for Billy Slater, and it's come off the Warriors.
He's a remarkable athlete, Billy Slater. He threw that ball on tackle 5 to Steve Turner on the right side of the field. And then as they were playing the football, he got himself back to midfield for the kick. Aerobically, he's very fit, and he has to be the way that he plays. He buzzes all over the field. He's a constant threat to the opposition, and some of the things he does
At the line,
away
Joel,
from the
let's go.
football are exceptional, and it stands him out
Let's go
from
down
a lot
to
of other players.
Let's go down to the sideline with Simon, a huge dropout.
Yeah, interestingly enough, that said, Brett Finch and Cooper Cronk actually changed sides, and we've seen Brett Finch get the ball. And again, they came at Vadavai. Maybe they'll swap around throughout the game to get Finch more involved.
Dallas Johnson playing more of a ball-playing role in 2009. We've seen him several times linked with runners on that left-hand fringe. Ryan Hoffman or Brett White is runners of choice. Smith short side to Finch, who accelerates and ends up bumping into the right shoulder of Jacob Lillyman, the lightweight second rower. Crossfield. Ohio back in his own in goal, gets it to Vartuve. And Turner was very quick to get around the ample thighs of Big Manu.
You love that. These type of conditions, Ohio pouncing on the football, but he's prepared to back his skill and pass to Vartuve. They made something out of nothing then, the Warriors. Cooper Cronk, a lovely little kick, but Ohio, great positioning, picks it up, and all of a sudden, Vartuve with a bit of room to move.
Ohio just outside the 40. It was going nowhere near the sideline. That was only ever going straight to Billy Slater.
It's a strong breeze at the back of the Melbourne Storm. You'll be a little bit concerned, only being 4 points in front of it at half-time.
Considering how much field position they have had, 61% of the game has been spent in the Warriors' 50-metre zone. Just 39 down this end of the park. Here goes Inglis, bumps a couple. Inglis striding out in front on the inside to Anthony Quinn. Somehow he was denied.
He's injured. He is injured. He is injured, mate. Not wrong. No, he is injured. He's got possession of that ball. No. Leave him, so stay there. Stay there.
Well, Anthony Quinn's in a bad way here.
Anthony Quinn. It's tackle 3, Tim.
And the Warriors just showing plenty of caution there. And we don't often give referees raps, but we will there because both referees, Matt Chikin and Tony Archer, very close to the action. And I think it was Archer, controlling referee at the time, straight away said, OK, there's an injury, let's call time here.
Yeah, you love to see the officials on top of things, and they've handled that extremely well. Brett Finch.
It's fun picking on refs, but we'll give them a rap when they deserve it.
What about this man? Just great upper body strength. You have to really knock that fend away.
Yeah.
If you do not knock that fend away, more times than not, he's going to get rid of you. And you could just see Mannering there straight away. He knew that Quinn had collected his knee.
Okay.
And he was in a bad way. So the players responded, the referees and the officials have responded.
And we've got trainers from both clubs out there at the moment tending to Anthony Quinn, who's copped a pretty severe knock.
And we speak about the dominance of the Melbourne Storm, but the Warriors have been under pressure. Defensively, they've been holding their line very well. Their scramble defence has been excellent, as was shown on this occasion.
Now, Cooper Cronk has really almost had a monopoly on kicking for his side tonight, Laurie. What are your thoughts so far on the number 7's kicking game in difficult conditions?
Yeah, look, I think he's done a reasonable job. I'd still like to see Brett Finch take a bit more responsibility away from Cooper Cronk. But it's the first time they're playing together. He's had variety with his kicking game. Along the ground, up in the air, little chips over the top. And that's something that will continue. And in these conditions, you need to mix it up.
Yeah.
You need to mix it up. The back three, it's an uncomfortable feeling for them. It's an uncomfortable night, given the conditions. You can't let them settle. You have to have them second-guessing.
They do have a huge advantage, the kickers in a footy side in 2009, as opposed to kickers in 1989 or 1969, or if you want to keep going further back. The fact that they almost can't be challenged when kicking gives them a great deal of confidence and a great deal of time. Guys that I grew up watching, like Greg Alexander and Ricky Stewart, would have just been unbelievable as far as kicking goes if you know you didn't have Les Davidson, Steve Roach and Bradley Clyde wanting to belch you.
Yeah, you're 100% right there. But that's the way that the game has changed. And I do agree that we need to protect our kickers, but I still think at some stage there should be, contact being applied. And I'm led to believe that you still can have contact as long as it's with your arms. Arms around the waist, and not checking them with his shoulder and little things like that, and attacking the legs of the opponent. But it's a little break here for both players. They're standing, both sides, I should say. They're standing around.
You can get your footy fix 6 nights of the week now on Fox Sports. Every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. NRL Tactics this week, joined by Michael Hagan and Brett Kamali. We'll have the 3D telestration sent direct from Russia with us, and we'll analyse all the key plays and players from the week. And then every Wednesday night with Warren Smith, Laurie Daly and the Motley crew this week, Cameron Smith and Preston Campbell. That is the most complete 60 minutes of football you will see anywhere every week, 7:30 live on Wednesday nights. Both of those programs on Fox Sports 2. Little toothache there maybe for Denon Kemp.
Well, he was pushed off by Greg Inglis. It's an awesome sight, isn't it, Inglis? When he's running with the football, he's a giant of a man. If you haven't had the opportunity of getting up close to Greg Inglis, he is a mountain of a man. Just got great upper body strength. And as I said before, you have to knock that fend away. If you can't knock the fend away, and he gets a good opportunity to put it where he wants to on you, he's got terrific strength. Now they're getting the ball out, the Melbourne Storm players, and throwing it around, and the Warriors are starting to do some exercises with the shoulders. Of course, they're defending. Great try-saving tackle on Anthony Quinn.
Let's head down to the sideline with Simon Wolford.
Yeah, the Warriors had a chance to get themselves together. Look, I think if they can hold on till half-time and go in 4 behind, Ivan Cleary will be more than happy with that, considering the start they had, and they will have a stiff breeze behind them in the second half.
Anthony Quinn, it is, has just been taken from the field on the stretcher there. An ambulance has been called, and he'll be taken away from Olympic Park immediately. And being fair to Anthony and also wanting to give you exactly what's happening, we'll just leave it there. Needless to say, our thoughts are with him on a speedy recovery. Great to see everyone standing shoulder to shoulder there in regards to assisting Anthony from the field. There were Warriors and Storm trainers there. We hope the tough young winger is okay. So Ryan Hinchcliffe in jersey 14 comes onto the football field. Be interesting to try and establish exactly what the Storm do with the makeup of their 13. Tackle number 3. 4 minutes to go, 4 points the difference. Ready for half-time. Smith a dummy half. Goes back to the left to Brett Finch. On to Greg Inglis, bumps one, bumps a second. The rain is back and it is turned around. It is now coming behind the Warriors. Finch kicking. Final play. Slater is there. So too Vartuve. Correct weight has been called on the kick. And as a result, the Melbourne Storm, they will have a repeat set at the line.
Yeah, by his actions then, you would think that Brett Finch thinks he's made a mistake. He may have thought the opportunity was there to run the football. It was an excellent kick. Slater was chasing through. They dearly love points here, the Melbourne Storm. And there's Aiden Tolman carrying it forward.
Can the Warriors hold on another set of 6? Melbourne have dominated A, field position, and B, football possession. They lead by 4 points. Added to that fact, they've had a pretty handy breeze behind them for the opening 40 minutes. Across field, Smith used Hinchcliffe as a decoy. Eventually, he found Warangi Cooper. This is Aiden Tolman, centre field. Backing his way towards the line and getting closer, just 3 metres away. 2 tries to 1 and White aimed himself for the line. What a tackle by Jacob Lillyman.
No advantage.
Outstanding tackle from Lillyman.
Up here for a scrum.
Outstanding. Wow. He was into a hole, Brett White, and he just brings him down with a classic tackle around the legs. They say that, you know, you can't be effective with legs tackle in the game because it doesn't reward you with a dominant tackle. But
that's as good
when
as
you
it
see
gets.
that, he loses the football.
Safety first set of 6 here, a conservative set of 6 for the Warriors. As Rapati is picked up and chaired backwards, this is Mannering. Melbourne really muscling up here. This is play 2, and the Warriors just 14 metres out from their try line. Good run, Simon Mannering. In fact, it's Big Rapira back onto the field. An effective set for the Warriors. The referee's hand goes up, signalling the final play, and Nathan Feen pumps it downfield. It goes past Billy Slater, and that is a great result for the Warriors.
That'd be filthy, the Warriors. That'd be filthy because the wind is dead set turned around.
Yeah.
Going into half-time, it's now at the back of the Warriors. They've got the last minute with it.
They have. They've run into it for 39 as Johnson goes to Chambers. He was taken down quickly and effectively. Rapati part of the tackle, along with young Joel Moon, one of a couple of Broncos to make his way over the Tasman in the last couple of years. Smith looking for Cooper Cronk. Also there is Billy Slater, but the kick had just a little too much depth on it. And as a result, it was a pretty easy take for Lance O'Hire.
It was a strange one. If it just had been over the top of the defensive line, there was plenty of space in behind, but he's given it too much. And here comes the kick for Denon Kemp. Billy Slater's got it covered, though.
This is almost an old-fashioned Russell Fairfax-style kicking duel. Siren sounds. Bring back the kicking duel. 40 minutes gone here in terrible conditions at Melbourne's Olympic Park, midway through round number 7, and it is the Melbourne Storm 10 leading the Warriors 6.
But Cameron Smith, no doubt, will play a part in the Queensland Origin team this season as he leads the Melbourne Storm onto Olympic Park. They look good in the first 20 minutes.
Playing game 151 tonight, Cameron Smith. Recorded good numbers in the opening 40 minutes. 14 tackles. Third on the list in regards to total tackles so far. And the rain has stopped here at Olympic Park, well, for the time being anyway. And no real breeze, Laurie. And it was a howler behind the Storm in the first 40.
That'd be filthy, the Warriors, if that's the case. It's as though the weather's just dropped off. It's nice and clear, as can happen down in Melbourne.
I'll wait, Greg.
Wonderful weather down here.
That's why we live in Sydney. Here we go. Second half action between the Storm and the Warriors. First half that produced just the 3 tries in difficult conditions. Melbourne dominated pretty much most of the stats. This is Mannering. Started the game in the centres, has moved into the back row. Russell Packer continues to impress this young man. He's big, he's strong, he's very enthusiastic. His luck across field, and he links with Jacob Lillyman, who denied Brett White a 4-pointer on return late in that first half. Packer with his second contribution of the set. Almost up onto halfway as they go to Moon on that left side. Taken by Slater and taken well. He looks on the inside to find Steve Turner.
Just looking at the way that the Melbourne Storm aligned themselves in defence in that set of 6. Finch had actually gone to the left edge. He finished the first half defending on the right side.
I think there's been a major change in the makeup of this Melbourne side. Greg Inglis is playing left wing. Ryan Hoffman, it appears, left centre. Will Chambers also on the left-hand side. Here is Hoffman. Rangi Kupu has moved over onto the right to partner with Steve Turner. Cronk goes to the air. O'Hire, Slater, timing is perfect. Hinchcliffe steps and then runs into a Warrior. Billy Slater's timing was perfect. That is the 0 tackle. To Brett Finch it goes. Wide to Inglis, then to Chambers. That is just so easy. Simple stuff from the Storm, but so effective.
That's good work by Brett Finch. He had his eyes up. He called for the football. He knew he had the numbers there. O'Hire under pressure from Billy Slater. Comes up with the error. And just Finch, he just sums it up. A long ball out to Inglis. There was Lillyman defending out there. And it was a simple catch and pass, and Will Chambers, who's moved from the right side of the field to the left side, scores a try.
That lateral...
They extend the lead. Sorry, Andy.
That lateral shift just so good after a line break or a broken field advantage. And we just saw the Warriors on this side of the field unable to recount defensively, and Brett Finch read it perfectly.
Yeah, and that's what he was brought to do, Brett Finch. That was the idea of recruiting him to the club, to take away the pressure from Cooper Cronk. And I said at the start of the game, at times last week it looked as though Cooper Cronk wanted to do everything, and the opposition were double teaming he and Billy Slater, but with Brett Finch out there, another ball playing option, and a guy who can count numbers and identify weaknesses and in the structure of the opposition, it's just invaluable to have. And to be picked up at this time of the year, I think it's a great buy.
Cameron Smith kicking at 89% so far in 2009. They are just wonderful numbers. 17 goals so far for the season. Oh, he started it right and it heads further right. Sorry, Cameron.
Happens, doesn't it? The old curse.
It's like I gave him a whack on the right ankle as we head to the sideline with Simon.
Yeah, put that try down to Billy Slater. His pure enthusiasm and will to chase the kick, force the error out of Ohio. But half-time, both coaches a similar message. Complete, get to your kicks, good kicking game, good kick chase, play the footy down there into the field. Just on the injury front, the Warriors unscathed. Melbourne Storm, Anthony Quinn very heavily concussed. He's actually on his way to hospital, and Proctor, a high ankle sprain, unlikely to return tonight.
Seen a lot of those high ankle sprains so far this year. I'm not sure if it's the shoes or the boots the players are wearing, if it's overtraining or if it's purely coincidence, but a lot of clubs, in particular your old Moblos, the Raiders, these high ankle sprains have been large in number.
Something they try and guard against. You don't want to see your best players missing for a long period. And here comes Cameron Smith with a 40-20 attempt, and that one's been hooked back to the post. I thought he was going for it.
Here is Ohio. In fact, that kick got closer to the post than his goal kick. Too easy, this penalty for the Warriors.
They want to try and establish dominance with their tackling here, the Melbourne Storm. They were keen to get off the mark on that occasion. Off their line.
Nathan Fiend to restart, and he does so through Simon Mannering. From the Wellington Orcas Junior Club over the ditch, and so versatile in the senior grade as Mannering. Tackle number 2 is centre field. It's 20 metres out from the try line. A pretty narrow 10 being held by our ref at the moment. Ohio goes back to Mannering. Instead of playing the battering ram, he's used as a ball player into the line here. Strong defence from the 15 and the 19 in Kupu and White. Crossfield, looking for the kick, and there was a deflection there. Off the legs, not played at by Ryan Hoffman. He simply just dived on the football.
Yeah, something they need to be aware of. It's Greg Inglis with that right fend again. Right arm fend. Now they've got a penalty to Melbourne Storm.
Get on side.
He's strong, isn't he? Inglis.
Oh, unbelievable. Not a lot of penalties in the opening 40 minutes. We've seen a couple already in the first few minutes of this second half. Dallas Johnson at crossfield again into the ball-playing role. Linking with the inside runner, it is White, who has been out with a toe injury for the first 6 rounds. Inside runner is Tolman. That was a nice little handoff from Cameron Smith. 30 metres out from the try line here. Come the Storm again. They lead by 8 points at Olympic Park. Slater, crossfield, now to Finch. On to Hoffman. Sees a gap. Tries to sprint through it. Not the case. The Warriors defensively read it well. Oh, White has 2 grabs at it. Secures it and then continues on for another couple of metres. Pressure most certainly on the Warriors. The Sphinx goes to the ground. Ohio
Grounded it, mate.
Ohio ends the move in goal, and another repeat set for Melbourne, courtesy of the boot of Brett Finch.
He's warming to the task, Brett Finch. Jumping into first receiver, finding Brett White. Then 5th play, calling the football, just rolling along the ground. There's a lovely little kick, short in goals. And Will Chambers comes up with a tackle.
20 seconds, Joel.
Showing great control and great patience, Finch.
He'll love it down here in Melbourne, Finchy. It's a city for him. Big drop out that skids off the deck to Steve Turner. who had Brett White there, but took the option of taking it solo back into the defensive line. Smith to Johnson. Johnson almost through, gets the ball back to his number 9 and skipper. Bit more fluent football here from Melbourne. Cronk to Hoffman. It was a good ball from the number 7. They are inside the 10-metre line. Back to Cooper Cronk inside to Aidan Tolman, who was cut down beautifully by Matalino. Finch again, in control of things on to Slater. Dangerously close as young Billy. Inglis a dummy half. Back to Finch. He goes to the air. Into the hands of Simon Mannering. And the ball was knocked on.
Knock on.
Mannering almost gave it away. Didn't play to the whistle, stood there almost dumbfounded.
Knock on, mate. Scrum here, boys.
Scrum, great opportunity to attack from. Finch, lovely kick. They go up to compete for the football. It ends up in the arms of Mannering, but off the hands of Rapati. The Storm are there to make the tackle. What a position this is for the Melbourne Storm. They've looked dangerous. They've created quick play the balls. Can the Warriors hang on? They need to.
Are we going to see a set play from the scrum here?
Get it out. Get it out. Get it out. Where you go, Cooper? Ball in.
Dallas Johnson loosely packing in at the back. Short side. Cronk steps off the right boot. Mannering quickly out of the scrum to jump all over the number 7. Here is Johnson, pumping the little legs. Almost an Indian deathlock put on by Michael Luck to try and stop the Queensland number 13 as Hoffman spills the ball forward.
It's building nicely, their timing was out. The quick hands from Finch onto Hoffman, he couldn't control the football. He was into space. They hang in, the New Zealand Warriors.
Once again, the Warriors forced to work it out from their backfield. The very hard meters, especially in conditions like this, as Rapira gets the offload to Jones. It goes on to the 17 in Arvine. Came into action at about the 22nd minute and moved Mannering from right centre into that middle third of the field, Patrick Arvine. Fiend rushes a kick in between Slater and Chambers, it goes. Number 1 looks to his left centre and says, all yours this time. Territorial battle in this one. It is being won by the Melbourne Storm. I've seen the Warriors bust more tackles than any other side so far this year. 37 a game they're averaging. That hasn't been the case tonight, partly due to the conditions, but partly due to an improved defensive performance from Melbourne. Cronk running the ball to Hinchcliffe, now to Kupu, on to Turner. He pumps it over the top. There's Storm players coming. Denon Kemper's there, and open space in front of him. Where did Ryan Hinchcliffe come from?
Well, they created the space, the Melbourne Storm, but Kemp got himself in a position to receive the football. Here come the Warriors through Lance O'Hire. Lovely pass.
The beast is unleashed, but here comes Slater on the inside. What a tackle from Billy Slater.
Outstanding. Vartuve in space, Slater coming across, and the Storm moving the football from inside their own 20-metre zone.
Greg Inglis had Will Chambers on his outside there. Expansive football from both sides. Here is Inglis again. Bumping off a couple, up onto the red line, the 40-metre line. Back to Cameron Smith it goes. The short ball to Adam Blair. Brett White back on the sideline now. Just 27 metres and a rebound. Cameron Smith gets a second kick on it. Stacey Jones gives it to Patrick Arvine. Great field position for the Warriors to commence their set.
Well, they had a fantastic set of 6. last time the Warriors. Can they reproduce another good set of 6 here? Because the Melbourne Storm, they're hanging in. While they're playing from in front, defensively they can be exposed, and here they go again, Rapati.
It is Rapati, dangerously close to the sideline, spits it back into Mannering. He offloads to Joel Moon. Geez, they're not afraid to toss the football around the Warriors.
They need to keep going back to their left.
That's where Russell Packer heads. They need a little bit of go forward, and he provides that as well. The Storm a short far side. That's where the Warriors target Jones. A cutout ball, in fact, a cutout 3. On to VAR, Back to Rapati. Now it's Mannering, an old-fashioned settler, because that is tackle number 1 after it was touched from the Storm. Good field position. Vai collects number 2. A double for the Beast.
Well, it's a simple case of too big, too strong. And this is the area that they will continue to hammer in the remaining 25 minutes of this game, the New Zealand side. This right edge down a short side, it's a 3-on-2. And then that close to the line, it's very difficult to stop a man like Vartuve. He's just too big. He does a good job, Stevie Turner, to put himself in front of him. And usually that would be considered a good tackle. But that close to the try line was always going to be hard to stop him. At this venue here at Olympic Park, he's played 4 times. He's come up with 5 tries, his first double. And the Warriors are back in the game. But that right edge for Melbourne looks shaky. And there's players there defending out of position. In particular,
Kupu, yep.
And Stevie Turner.
They've had to reshuffle the 3-quarter line as a result of Anthony Quinn being taken from the field and to hospital for precautionary scans after being knocked out earlier in the game. Kemp, 1 from 2 tonight to get it back within 2 for the Warriors. Started well. It's hit the upright and bounced away. It remains a 4-point game with plenty of football left in this one. The Storm 14 lead the Warriors 10.
We thought coming here tonight it'd be a close game, and neither side are out of this contest. With 25 minutes to go, you get the feeling it's going to go down to the wire, and every play will be critical.
Vartuve with 2 tries so far tonight, 3 tries to 2 in favour of Melbourne. Stephen Price taking the ball into the line. He is met by Adam Blair and Ryan Hoffman. His position on the field they are familiar with tonight, the Warriors, because they have done plenty of this work so far as Madalino crosses the 20-metre line. Henderson looks right, goes left and does so to Rapira. Simplicity is the key in this set as Stephen Price takes it straight from Ian Henderson. They've gone up over 40 metres, a net gain of 36 for the set. And onto the left boot of Joel Moon. He looks for the sideline, and what that does, it takes Billy Slater out of play. Have we got a 40-20 here?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we have. The Warriors were celebrating, so too the crowd in the Tawera Nikau stand. But I thought Joel Moon was well outside the 40.
Yeah. I think he realised it himself after he jumped up and down. He's probably 5 or 6 metres outside it.
There was a little bit of bromance there.
But they give themselves a rest here.
Stay there, back.
The Warriors,
Stay
they can
there.
defend Melbourne from the set start. They can really put a lot of energy into this set of 6 and hope to try and force an error. Defence contact at the football is crucial. That's your target at the moment. Using your shoulders.
Shoulders in under the football, Laurie.
Yep.
Oh, Dallas Johnson hitting a big shot from Ben Madalino. Here's Jeff Lima back onto the field. On for Aidan Tolman. What about this from Madalino? Bang! About 8 inches and 20 kilos, the difference between those two. Cronk, under pressure from Simon Mannering, finds neutral ground between Vatu Vai and also Hohire. And Hohire offloaded the ball late, and it really did no favours for Big Manu there.
No, but if I'm Lance Hohire, I'd rather Big Manu take the ball into a line.
Some second phase football here from the Warriors, and Stacey Jones had no support off his right hip. Was looking for just a little short ball there, but had to take it to the line. This is Rapira, and the big man showing some good footwork pre-line. Back to Jones. Onto the boot it goes. Slater's had a touch of it. Can he get out back into the field of play? No, he can't. Madalino around the ankles, and Billy copped quite a knock over the top.
Yeah, he says he's okay. He may be just winded. But the Warriors, great go forward. Sam Rapira, a fantastic charge. Stacey Jones kicking the football. Slater making a play of it.
Oh.
And Madalino over the top. I think he's just winded, Billy.
Good chase from Arvan down low.
Oh. Awkward position he ends up in, Billy. But the momentum has swung in this game. Goes in little 5-10 minute periods.
Doesn't
it looks
it?
as though the Warriors have it now through Stephen Price.
Price loses the ball, but loses it backwards. It wasn't an offload. Here is Ropati. With a couple of coaches in the off-season, one of them said, easy getting momentum, maintaining momentum. That's the difficult part, and we've seen that so many times tonight. The side gets the upper hand. They seem to be on a bit of a wave. It's taken from them very quickly. This is Price. Busy again, Stephen. Fiend. Short side, and losing his footing was Joel Moon. Last tackle now for the Warriors. Do they put it in the air? Do they keep it on the carpet? They go left through Hohire. Slater, barrel back in goal. Made the first play at the ball and thought he may have been able to stay in the field of play. Was it the right choice?
Very courageous by Billy Slater. The previous set, he'd taken a knock. But he attacks this football as though his life depended on it. And he didn't care about his body. He wanted to turn up for his team. Craig's disappointed, but I think when he sees it on video, he'll give him a tap on the back and say, Billy, well done. That's for the team.
Hohire fielding the ball and offloading to Stephen Price, the stat man, who records another 10 or 12 metres there. Big numbers regularly for Pricey. In fact, averaging more metres per game than anyone in the NRL at 168. Stacey Jones, a simple runaround, takes it to the line to go to Mannering. Down low was Cronk, that was an effective tackle, and Hinchcliffe was the muscle over the top. The crossfield they crab again, a simple runaround, it's on here, it is on for the Warriors, who have scored a brilliant try. They did the maths, the equation added up. And it was a simple draw and pass situation, repeated a couple of times, and we are level at 14.
Well, one of the strengths of the Warriors are their forwards. Not only through their go forward, but the ability to pass the ball. And Stephen Price just going forward and then having Nathan Fiend double around him. Was a run around, and they created the numbers, and then it was just a sleight of hand. The skills from the Warriors players, and Arvan over in the corner. A well-rehearsed play.
Laurie, how important is it in this movement? The run around has occurred between the hooker and the front rower. The next ball recipient was Stacey Jones, so you are presenting the ball to your playmaker, not just a hard-running back rower.
No, and that's correct. You know, you need someone that can pass. If your back row has got the skills like a Stacey Jones or any of the halves running around and can catch and pass and square up, so be it. But they just worked it beautifully. And they were shorter numbers. They just stripped them of numbers.
Just 1 from 3 tonight. It has been a difficult night for Denon Kemp, former Bronco. Coming back, just not far enough. And with 16 minutes remaining at Olympic Park, we are level, 14 apiece in front of just over 15,000 people here.
Great crowd. It's a tremendous crowd given
and
the
it's
weather.
wet. It is very, very wet.
An outstanding performance by the Melbourne Storm to attract this many people to a game of rugby league. There's a lot of New Zealand supporters here as well, and they're receiving their money's worth. Good game.
High restart from the Storm. Price, the Queensland and Australian veteran, charges back into the line. His 13th hit up for the night. Here is Ropati. Good quick play the ball here from the Warriors, and the roll on occurs. Johnson slow to peel off. Now to Michael Luck. Heading centre field, and the Storm again just a little thin in number on their right fringe. Jones. We pretend that wasn't an attempt for a 40-20, but it may have been from the little general.
May have been an ordinary kick off his boot, but the Chasers turned it into a good kick. They got down there in numbers, and Simon Mannering coming up with a good effort, started the game in the centres. He's now been pushed into the back row.
And he has been all over Billy Slater all night long.
It's all about someone putting their hand up and leading the kick chase, and he's done that, Mannering, tonight.
Across field to Will Chambers, almost got out of the tackle of Stacey Jones. Tackle number 4, Dallas Johnson, on to Adam Blair. Cronk to the air. Ohio under pressure, but takes it well. And the chase there from the Storm wasn't what it needed to be. And as a result, little Lance Ohio has popped them open.
Well, they held off Ohio, and he's dangerous with the football in his hands, and here comes Vartuve. You just see him pick the football up, bounces out of a couple of tackles. He's strong for a little man. Great strength in the upper body area. And the Warriors, another strong carry through Sam Rapira.
Price again. The Warriors have now had more of the football, percentage-wise anyway. As Henderson goes back to Moon, and he pumps it into the air. Slater, unchallenged to the football, takes it easily.
He uses his body so well, Billy Slater, when he goes up for the football. He positions himself nicely. There's a great run there by Stevie Turner. Gaining 20 metres for his team. And here comes another run.
Vanify behind him. Assists with the tackle, but it was Mannering who halted the progress. Here is Blair back into Warriors territory, and Blair popped his nose through. Cameron Smith to Cooper Cronk. Puts it on the carpet. Slater is there, so too Finch, but Kemp beats the pair of them. And a quick play the ball off to Patrick Arvan, who scored the last try for the visitors.
It's getting to the stage where you see which team wants it the most. There's extra energy going into every tackle, every run.
Craig Bellamy doing it tough in the stands, so too Ivan Cleary in the opposition coach's box.
Been strong tonight. Again, Sam Rapira.
He has been,
Started on
hasn't
the
he?
bench.
Dozen hit-ups, 15 tackles. An open space with Steve Turner playing fullback and Billy Slater on the right wing. An injury to Billy Slater, just a breather, sucking a few big ones in.
Just a breather by the look of things. They need to work hard here. It's the arm wrestle. We're into the arm wrestle. Both teams prepared to kick and chase. We're the opposition out. Dummy half running. Which team will be prepared to use the football and take a risk to get points?
Jeff Lima off the field and Brett White on. And it is very much an arm wrestle at 14 all. Now Blair tackled just short of halfway. Gain of only 40 metres for the Storm this time as Cronk looks for the sideline and O'Hire is forced to play at it. And again, he beats the first couple of tackles. Got an amazing ability to beat that first man, Lance O'Hire. What he's done here, though, Loz, by allowing this ball a bit more time, is really put the pressure on his teammates by giving field position back to the Storm.
Yeah, and the Storm, he found himself in a dangerous situation there, Stacey Jones, yeah.
You speak to me again and you'll sit down.
He was turned. It was a late call by the referee.
I think the call was initiated here by the assist referee in Tony Archer, because Matt Checken was the controlling ref. Tony was the closer of the two.
Yeah, he ended up okay. I'm happy with just a penalty.
Yeah. Here is Mannering. Again. And again with effective metres from Simon. Price to the line over halfway. Still going. Getting into field goal territory. Under 10 minutes, Laurie. Who do you like? Who's going to win this game?
Well, the momentum at the moment, I believe, is with the Warriors. They're playing it nicely. And I think they look the more likely of the two to score a try. Now, having said that, when the opposition still have Slater, Cameron Smith, Greg Inglis, it's probably a silly comment.
Laurie, two fabulous sidesteps there. Who's going to win the game? Is there too much individual talent in the Melbourne Storm? Is that where the difference is going to be?
No, look, I think the momentum is with the Warriors.
Yeah. And Stacey Jones, no doubt there, key as he was 6 days ago at Mount Smart Stadium.
But you don't make 3 grand finals in a row without being resilient and not giving up.
Here's Billy Slater on the boot. O'Hire forced to turn. He does so safely. Slater did not get the bounce he was after. Challenge at the ball from Vartave on Slater. Here's Jacob Lilliman. Stephen Price taken from the field. Russell Packer being thrown back into the final 8 minutes of action. Big Jesse Royal. They've struggled for metres here of the Warriors. Fiend downtown and a good kick again in between Slater and Turner. They've done that on more than one occasion tonight.
Yeah. With a long kicking game, you have to find space. And if you find the space and it bounces, it gives your team, your chasing team, time to get down there, present a line, and make it difficult for the back three. And that's a good second tackle there by the Warriors, forcing Inglis back.
Greg Inglis out on this left side. Is he going to be the difference?
Well, they're just lacking a bit of shape at the moment, Melbourne. They're just going to play it tight.
7 minutes remain. Tackle number 4 here. Not into field goal territory yet. The script is written for a Brett Finch finish. Cronk playing it into the corner. A test for Lance O'Hire. Such a low centre of gravity, very strong base. Difficult to bring down straight away. Like this man, Henderson. So we go to the sideline with Simon.
Yeah, to add more intrigue to this game, the wind's actually turned. It's now favouring the Melbourne Storm, so we are going to see a long-range field goal. Look for Brett Finch.
Russell Packer winding up but used as the decoy as the Warriors go wide through Jesse Royal. In fact, it's Vardave who has scored twice so far tonight. He was used as the power runner on that occasion. And this one sits up perfectly. Perfectly if you're a Warriors fan. Not so if you're a Storm supporter.
The kicking game in the second half's been great.
Yes.
Down space once again. And Melbourne continually working it off their own try line.
Pretty high quality game considering the slippery conditions, especially this second half.
Been an excellent second half performance from both these teams. They're hard to beat. They play some good football. They're very well drilled, very well coached, you can see that.
And don't forget, immediately after this game, we are headed live to Townsville's Dairy Farmers Stadium. The North Queensland Cowboys and the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles do battle to finish edition 7 of Super Saturday. A big right foot from Brett Finch. Back to Lance O'Hire to Big Manu. Now back to his fullback.
I like the way that the Warriors are prepared to chance their arm. They're not just happy to work it one up and go through the motion. They look a threat every time they've had it.
Melbourne have closed up their defensive line in the centre third of the field, trying to get up early, up quickly, and then they work side to side. They try to pressure the Warriors into a mistake. Good meters again from Russell Packer. Henderson. The big Jesse Royal, the former Newcastle Knight and former chef with the New Zealand Army. Jones. Again, looking into the corner, but there's too much on this one from Stacey.
Well, he needed that one to stay in because this does give Melbourne the opportunity to drive it downfield and work for the one-pointer. They have their breeze at the back, at their backs. They need a couple of good charges here, though, Melbourne.
We remember what happened here last time. Week 1 of the finals last season, the Warriors, with one of the most thrilling finishes you will ever see. Michael Witt was on the end of it. Here's Finch, taken to the line for Slater. Inglis and Chambers on the fullbacks outside. Tackle number 3, Inglis to Lima. Keeping it central, keeping it tight. Smith to Brett White. And in these conditions, it's a long way for a field goal from here. That's what they're setting for. Cooper Cronk is their go-to man, and he has hit it well. But why? Well, geez, he got a bit of the size 10 onto that one.
It was always going to go the distance. It was just a matter of whether it was accurate enough. They're pushing it to the right. And now the Warriors, will they get an opportunity here? Tremendous tackle first up by Brett White.
The fullback there taking the job of the front rower. And one of the front rowers says, we're not going to be outshone or shown up like that. It is Russell Packer. Inside ball. Oh, again, Brett White very solid. Over the top, so too Adam Blair in with the assist. Henderson bumping off a couple, still available, the ball at the back. Tackle number 4, O'Hire. Short to Rope. Were the Storm inside the distance? Are the Warriors too far out for a field goal? Nathan Thien thinks so he pumps it downfield. Is it going to sit up? No, it doesn't for Billy Slater. Under 2 minutes remain. 3 tries apiece, 14 points apiece.
Well, if they're smart here, the Melbourne Storm, they can take their time and they can have the last set.
Yes.
But they've elected to play on.
This is 7th versus 8th on the ladder, both sides. 3 wins, 3 losses so far this campaign. The meters have not been easy for either side down the middle. Melbourne will need to produce something handy mid-set here to get into field goal range. Hoffman back to Finch. Inglis, what beautiful hands. He reeled the ball back in, and with a minute to go, that could have been a real danger for the Storm. Here is Lima. Tackle number 5. They take the percentage play. Cooper Cronk for another drop goal. He's going to be about 8 metres short, and Vatuvai has got open space in front of him.
I don't think that was the play from Cooper Cronk, but here come the Warriors. 35 seconds, and they will chance their arm.
For more than half the game, it has been 15 on 17. No Anthony Quinn, no Kevin Proctor for the home side. So a courageous effort from the available 15 Melbourne Storm players. And the Warriors are working to the posts. They will get 1 or 2 more plays at very best. Stacey Jones strikes it. And it is wide. Billy Slater takes it on the full. And for the 2nd week in a row, the Warriors are heading into extra time.
Well, off the boot, it looked as though it was going to go across or over the sticks. But it's faded to the right. An excellent comeback from the Warriors. They were behind 14-6 at one stage. They've fought their way back into the contest to take it into Golden Point.
We started off Super Saturday Edition 7 in Sydney at the Footy Stadium, where the Dragons taught the Roosters a lesson. Game 2, Melbourne's Olympic Park, and again, following full time here.
You kick off.
We are headed to Townsville, and North Queensland play host to Manly.
Kicking that way, boys.
Well, interesting here, Cameron Smith's won the toss. He's elected to kick. Most teams in extra time elect to receive, because the theory behind it is there's 5 sets and you should have 3 of them. 5 minutes each half, and there's the tries. First up to Will Chambers, and the Warriors responded in the 55th minute. Manu Vatuvei just showing his strength once again. And this was a brilliant play by the Warriors. Great team effort. Stephen Price goes forward. The wraparound was on with Thien and Stacey Jones. They stripped them of numbers, and Arvan in the corner. And that levelled us up at 14 all.
Before we get back into it, let's go down to the sideline with Simon.
Well, not only did Cameron Smith elect to kick off, Loz, but Michael Lux elected to run into the win, so that's a very interesting decision.
Both of them. The crowd on Anzac Day enjoying this one. Over 15,000 in Melbourne, a great crowd. We've got the atmosphere, we've got the participants. We don't have a kicking team. Finally we do. And we are ready to go.
I know some people do not like extra time, Golden Point.
I
but I'm a
love
fan.
Yeah, I'm with you, Loz.
It's good on dry nights.
Warriors first use of the football now. In extra time, both sides get 2 free interchanges. Stephen Price is back into the game. And I think for Sam Rapira.
They played an extra time last week, the Warriors, and they were able to win on the back of a Stacey Jones field goal. It was nearly the case in regular time, but here they come once again. Russell Packer being outstanding for a 19-year-old.
Now to Michael Luck. Not with the impact kilos earlier in the set had for the back rower. Here is Price again, inside Storm territory. Still a long way away from the posts. Stacey Jones has a crack. Was it played at?
Held one!
Yes, it was. Tackle number 1. Safety first football here, playing the percentages and keeping it tight, Laurie.
Well, they drive to the post. Will they set up an opportunity to run it? And try and outfox Melbourne.
Price reverses into the line, inside the 30. Jones is on the right-hand side. That's where the ball comes, and it does to Jacob Lillyman. Lanso higher is the go-to man, is Henderson. From dummy half, beats 2, almost beats a third. Looking back to Lanso higher. They go to Stacey Jones. He's missed it. It's hit the upright. And it is penalty Storm. What a finish.
Well, Stacey Jones, 2 weeks in a row, he could have won the game for the Warriors, but it hits the post. Henderson setting it up, but decides to run it. He was breaking through tackles, and then Jones, plenty of time, looking like it was going over, bang, hits the left upright. Oh, then there's a penalty. The Storm were in front of him. And the
70 metres upfield is where the Melbourne Storm need to be to post victory number 4 for the season. Aidan Tolman, one of 15 available Melbourne players, gets it towards the 40. Here is Greg Inglis using his considerable bulk.
great run. They need a double up there. Someone else.
Blair with energy, with enthusiasm and with metres.
And another one.
Lima puts his hand up. Greg Inglis behind play. So too Cooper Cronk. A couple of options. They go to their 7. And it's missed.
Well,
Olympic Park collectively held its breath.
Well, it was set up nicely. 3 terrific charges, and Cooper Cronk struck it nicely, but again, the fade to the right, and here come the Warriors. They will have another shot if they control the football. Their outside men doing a terrific job, as are their big forwards. Going through the middle. Can Melbourne hang on?
This will probably be the last full set of this first term in extra time, should I say, right on halfway. Price, 11 of the easiest metres Stephen has made tonight. Jones at first receiver on this near side. Flynn. Arvan, a test for Slater. And Slater takes the ball to ground. And that is silly stuff from the Warriors. The call held twice. Several seconds before they decided to take Billy the Kid into touch.
Yeah, but it takes some time off the clock. It takes some time off the clock. I don't know whether the Storm will have enough time to work it down the field.
20 seconds remain in this first 5-minute period of extra time. Blair. Just short of the 40. Perhaps the last play. They are out of the zone. Cooper Cronk takes it to the line and is secured by Simon Mannering. Siren sounds in the background. And these two sides, after 85 minutes, can't be separated as we once again go to the sideline.
Well, what a great decision from Michael Luck. He gets to come home with the breeze behind his back in this second stint of extra time.
You would think the Warriors would be out on their feet, given that they played extra time last week. But they still look fit, they still look hungry.
Extra time last Sunday, then the trip over from Auckland to Melbourne. It's a mentally tough Warriors side. No longer does that decade-old theory of Warriors' size and bulk mean anything. This isn't a massive footy side anymore.
Well, it used to be.
It used to be. This is a talented footy side.
And it used to be at the back end of halves, you could apply points, put points on the board, but it's not happening now. And here comes the kick-off, Slater underneath it.
Shallow restart from the Warriors was not what they needed there.
Not a wind change again.
It is, in fact, behind the Warriors, finally, at Olympic Park. Tackle number 2. Dallas Johnson, the Wolverine. Bringing it on the scrum line. Cronk short ball to Ryan Hinchcliffe. With just 4.5 minutes remaining. Was that a knock on at dummy half? Both referees said no. Rangi Kupu glad they did say no. Here is Inglis. Beats 2. Pops it back to Cameron Smith. He puts it onto the boot and into the hands of the beast, who winds up. Look at this for a demolition mission.
They rolled the dice. He's lost the football. He's lost the football. Greg Inglis electing to run the football on last play. Turned it over in cheap field position. Vartuve receives the ball. A massive run. And now he's lost it. He's disappointed. But don't be, Manu. There's Beast.
I wouldn't think so.
Pushing away. Storm players. Oh, there was a hand in it there from Greg Inglis. They missed it.
GI has got away with one here. Okay, let's look at Golden Point. These two sides, Melbourne have played 3, won 2. The Warriors have played 6, won 2, lost 3, and drawn 1. That's the stats that matter. As we approach the 87th minute, Cronk over the top was looking for Slater on his inside. Again, you're weighing up, Laurie, risk versus reward.
Well, in that field position, you don't risk. There's no risk.
No fullback at home at the time for the Warriors, but it was ricocheted from the first line of Warriors defence. Stephen Price edging forward. Tackle number 4, a Warriors player down in the background. It is Sam Rapira. Who to go to? Lance O'Hire steps 1 to Stacey Jones. He pumps it over the top. Vanavai v Turner. And not for the first time this game, late in the set, the Warriors have lacked composure.
Yeah. It was the right idea. There was plenty of space in behind. Slater was on the other side of the field. Turner was up. But they've got to travel the football. Take the football 80 metres downfield with 2 minutes 10 left on the clock.
Here's Johnson.
They need something a little bit different here, Melbourne, if they want to win. I do not think they can be simple and just go forward.
Tackle just over the 40-metre line. Cameron Smith onto Jeff Lima. Michael Luck involved in the tackle, and that is tackle 64 for Michael Luck. This is Blair, and make it tackle 65 for Luck now. Last play. Back to Finch. On to Slater. A ricochet. And a penalty for being in front of the kicker.
Always inside the 10.
Well, they get the last shot. The Warriors get the final
Always
shot.
inside the 10.
They will find touch deep inside.
And that is a very bad kick for touch. That is a thoughtless kick for touch.
He had plenty of time on his side, but they'll still work it downfield if they hang on to the football.
Here is Mannery. The Warriors with one last chance in the 90th minute. Here is Price, muscling forward. Stacey Jones and Lance O'Hire are the two men most likely as the rain again begins to fall at Olympic Park. A dummy from Henderson.
And now it comes.
Back to Jones, and a knock-on from Stacey Jones. Play on is called.
Tim, checking. I am checking. Go away. Go away. Take away. I'm checking whether or not there's a knock-on by Stacey Jones prior to the field goal.
No need for us. We're listening to the commentary of our referee.
So I can check point scoring, mate.
Well, a cool Tony Archer has allowed play to continue. He had the whistle in his mouth
because it's point scoring,
and then thought better of it. Well, does Stacey Jones touch the football? Jones is claiming it come off the shin.
Oh, I think there's no doubt there's a knock on there from Stacey Jones.
I would think at some stage his hand has touched the football.
26 nervous players, 2 nervous referees, a confused video ref and 15,000 not sure what to think.
Yes.
Knock on, has to be.
Knock on, he's touched it. He's touched it. Anti-climax, but a great game of football, and he has. He's touched it. There's been contact made with the fingers.
Stacey Jones produced the miracle last Sunday against the Warriors. Against the Roosters, should I say.
Yeah, that's a touch. You can just tell the rotation stop. See, if that bounces off your leg without touching your arms, it flies off. But just because he had a little bit of a touch, it takes the speed out of it there. If that pass just hits his shin, the football ricochets off and comes further up the field. By touching it, you take the speed away.
Our video ref is Tim Mander. No pressure, Timmy, whatsoever. The right leg of Cooper Cronk obstructing the infringement or the possible infringement. Surely it's a knock-on.
Surely.
It's not a face of confidence.
Well, it's a big decision.
Thank you, time on. Knock on, up here. It's a
Knock on has been ruled.
He checked it.
And Melbourne have got 18 seconds, 17 seconds, and they pack the scrum. They will get the last offensive play with 10 left on the clock. The rain is falling. 77 metres to the try line. But they do have Billy Slater, Greg Inglis, and a plethora of stars. Short side they go. Inglis. Tackled. And to his feet quickly. Dallas Johnson. Cooper Cronk. Beats one. And is driven to the ground.
That's it,
and
boys.
after 90 minutes, these two sides cannot be separated on a rainy night at Melbourne's Olympic Park. 3 tries apiece. It is finished 14 points all. A game of fluctuating fortunes in the conditions, Laurie. A pretty high-quality game of footy.
I thought it was tremendous. Both teams were very committed. It went down to the 90th minute. We couldn't get a result. But both teams will walk away proud of their performance on Anzac Day 2009.
He hits it, he's got it! He's got the field